So in exercise 2, we have to create a super class, parent class, which is called shape. And we have to give 2 attributes. The first attribute is name, second attribute is description to this class, to the super class, and one method called display. This method will print the name and description that we will set for that shape. After that, we have to create 3 subclasses, 3 classes that will inherit the same attributes and methods from the super class. One called circle, one called square, and one called triangle. All of them inherit from shape. So for example, if I have class square like this, and then it will inherit from shape. So by default, once we inherit from shape, then we will have the same attributes as well as the same method. The other thing that we need to apply in the subclasses here, we add the necessary attributes for calculating the area. For example, for square, we need to add the attributes, for example, the length of the side of the square. For triangle, we need to also to add the length of the side of each one of the line of triangles. For circle, we need to add whatever necessary to calculate the area beside these 2 attributes. So let us see the code, how it is look like. I actually created 2 shapes here, 2 shapes. I didn't create the circle, I created only square and triangle. So this is our super class here. This is the super class shape, super class, 2 attributes, name and description. And this is a constructor. Constructor for the shape. It will take name and description, and then it will set them in the attributes that belong to this class. So far, simple. And then one display method that will display the name as well as the description of that shape. So it will just write to the console the name of the shape and the description, how many sides, for example, it has. For square, it has 4 sides. Triangle, it has 3 sides. Circle, it has no sides here. So this is the super class. This is the super class. 2 attributes, constructor, and 1 method. Now the subclass, for example, square, we need to add whatever attributes required to calculate the area. We need the length of the side. Here it's double. For example, if I have a square and the side is 5 centimeters, then when I calculate the area, I need to multiply the side by the other side. Same for rectangle also, the length by width, but because it's square, the length and width is similar, so 5 by 5, it will give us the area. So we need the size or the length of one of the sides, For triangle, we need the length and the width. Then, so here we define the attributes required for that. And here, this is a constructor, so that we can call the constructor when we want to initialize an object of type square. It will take the name. Where it get the name from? It got it from the parent class. Name, description, and how it will set the name and description. It will set it based on the constructor of the base class, of the parent class. Here we're calling the base. That's mean we are referring to this constructor here. We are referring to this constructor base. So name and description, it will call this constructor and set the name and description. And for the side, because it's belong only to this class, we can set it directly from here. But the other two will be set from the base class. Now we have extra method belong to the square, which doesn't belong to the shape here, which is get area. Now we want to calculate the get area. Before that, we print the name and description. So we print the shape name is whatever we put the name when we create or initialize the square, and as well as the description, and then we print the area, which is calculated by multiplying the length by the width, or here the two sides, multiply any two sides together, so that it will give us the same result, because the square sides, they are equal. Another class, triangle, also inherits from shape. So the name and description will be implicitly added to the triangle, but beside that we need to add the height and the width. And the constructor for triangle, same thing, name and description will be set using the base class or the parent class constructor. Beside the height and the width, we need to set them directly when we initialize the class, because these belong to triangle. Calculating the area, same as a square, we print the description, name and description of triangle, and then we calculate the area, which is calculated by height multiplied by width, all the total over 2. Now in our main program, we create square, one square, we call the constructor. This is the name. This is the name attribute, the value that will go for name. This is the value that will go for description. And this is the value of side. These two will be set using the base constructor, and this one will be set using the square. Now when we call area for the square, it will print the shape is square and it has 4 sides. Beside that, it will print then the area, which is 25. For triangle, it will print the shape is triangle and it has 3 sides, and this is the height and the width. It will calculate the height and the width here in the area. So 5 multiplied by 8 over total over 2, then it will give us the result. Read key, it will just be used here to hold the screen so that the execution screen or the console screen will not disappear. Now if you look at the execution of this, as I said, it will print the shape name is square because we already set it to square here, and it has 4 sides. It has 4 sides. That's the description, and then the area is 25. This is for a square. Now for the triangle, the shape name is triangle because we set it here as triangle, and it has 3 sides because this is the description we gave. And then based on the length and width value that we set there, it calculated the area and it gave us the result here. So this is how we can create a superclass, create a subclass that inherits some of the attributes from the superclass, and implement one method and implement another method which doesn't belong to the superclass. Now this exercise 3, as I said, you're supposed to do it as a homework to do multiple inheritance. Same thing that you have here, but you need to implement one extra interface. Maybe you can put, for example, here, you can put, instead of putting get area implementation or declaration here, then you can create one interface. You can create here, for example, public interface. We can call it, for example, area. And then here you define the get area, public get area is returning so void here, nothing. It will just get area. You put the declaration for get area here, and then you can implement here also. You can implement the area based on that, so that you will inherit from shape and implement the area interface. This is just to simulate that multiple inheritance can be done. So you have to rewrite this code, the code that I give you, in the same way as the example in lecture 2 here. Same example as this one, I'll show you. Same as this example here, one interface here, one interface with one method declaration here, and then the rectangle here, it's inheriting from shape as well as it's implementing paint cost. So the implementation will be inside here, the declaration will be inside here. So it's the same thing exactly. It is the same thing exactly. We just need to put here, for example, area. You have to do the same thing for the triangle. You have to do the same thing for triangle. That is regarding exercise 2 of lab 2 and exercise 3. Any questions?